in peak condition. On the other side, you have the official autopsy finding, death by heart attack caused by a heart with a 70% arterial blockage. The two they don't add up. This was the exact question her family started asking. I mean, how does that even happen? A young woman in peak physical condition doesn't just suddenly have the heart of someone with advanced cardiovascular disease. It made no sense. Something was deeply, deeply wrong with the official story, and her parents demanded more testing. So her family requested what's called a viscera test, basically a very detailed forensic analysis of the internal organs. And the result? Well, it was the bombshell that blew this case wide open. The heart, the very organ that supposedly caused her death, didn't belong to Sonam at all. It was the heart of an adult man. So, where did it come from? And more importantly, where was Sonam's real heart? From that point on, it's like the investigation just hit one dead end after another. Semen was found at the scene, but the DNA didn't match a single one of the 17 guests. The CCTV footage from the apartment building for that specific night, mysteriously gone. All 17 witnesses gave these suspiciously similar, almost rehearsed stories that revealed nothing. And maybe most damning of all, the hospital had failed to follow its own rules. No video was recorded of any of the autopsies performed that day, including Sonam's. What started as one suspicious finding soon cascaded into an absolute forensic nightmare, where every new discovery just made the mystery deeper and darker. Just follow this timeline because it's almost unbelievable. So in 2012, they find a man's heart. In 2013, the guy who hosted the party is arrested, but he's quickly out on bail. Then, years later, in 2016, authorities exhume Sonam's body to test the preserved heart sample one more time. And the result? The sample now belongs to an older woman. Not Sonam, not the man, a third heart. The chain of evidence wasn't just broken, it was completely obliterated. And that is the haunting, unresolved fact at the very core of this case. You see, all the other DNA samples from her exhumed body, her bones, her hair, her nails, they all matched her parents. But her heart, the one piece of evidence that could truly explain how she died, it's gone. It just vanished. Now, in the face of this kind of systemic failure, it would have been easy to just give up. But Sonam's family, they refused. Their relentless fight for justice has kept this case alive, and in the total vacuum of evidence, several theories have emerged. There are really three main lines of thought here. Sonam's family strongly believes this was a massive cover-up, that she was assaulted and murdered, and that someone very powerful intervened to tamper with every single piece of evidence. Another theory, which investigators considered, points to an organ trafficking ring inside the hospital, one that might have swapped organs and then created a forensic mess to hide their crimes. And then there's a third, less sinister theory, that this was all just a cascade of gross negligence and panic, that an accidental death was compounded by a series of botched, incompetent cover-ups. After years of her family pushing and petitioning, the case was finally escalated to India's top investigative body, the CBI. They re-examined everything and everyone, and in 2018, they filed their final report. Their final conclusion was a single word: inconclusive. After 6 years, 2 autopsies, and an exhumation, the official answer was that there was no answer. The trail had been completely destroyed by missing evidence and bizarre, impossible contradictions. And so, that brings us to today. More than a decade has passed, but the questions surrounding that awful night remain just as pressing and just as unanswered as ever. The witnesses from that party have long since scattered, building new lives. The host of the party moved away. The case file just gathers dust. But for Sonam's parents, time has stood still. They are left with only memories and a fight for a truth that seems to have vanished, right along with their daughter's heart. Had she lived, Sonam would be in her 30s today. Maybe a successful fashion designer, maybe still playing football. Instead, her story ends not with a resolution, but with a question mark. A testament to a family's search for justice, met only with a wall of silence and confusion, and one final haunting question. What really happened to Sonam Hassan?